Okay, well, gonna have to do this eventually. So, my goodness gracious, the Bruins going back to back. Well, not really. There's a day off in between. I'm going back to back on the last two Bruins games, but luckily for us, eerily similar. Something goes to overtime. Bruins don't do shit. They get 1 point. To be fair, the journeys they took to get to that position could not be more different between these two games. But they end the same way. We're going to go through it pretty quick. These Bruins games are just killing me, man. They're like, I try to sit down and like, all right, of course it's easy to record the fun ones when they beat a good team or something like that. But oh my God, I just can't stop thinking about how the Bruins did so much in this game to come back, and it literally just ended without them touching the puck in overtime. They didn't touch the puck once in overtime. So we'll take care of the Bruins at Hurricanes first, which was today, the 7th. We started with Swayman versus Brandon Bussi in net. It did not end that way, but another matchup back-to-back with a former Bruins goaltender, and for all it's worth, the Bruins started off hot in this one. Hampus Lindholm fires one in from the blue line. It looks like Bussi just doesn't pick it up, finds the back of the net. The Bruins were up one just under 5 minutes into the game. So great start. They're talking about, oh, you gotta beat this Hurricanes team in the first period. They're such a good first period team. So what do is naturally give up 2 goals in about a few minutes down the road. We get Andrei Svechnikov sneaking one in and around on the wraparound. I'm not really sure if it hit like a Bruins skate or a defender, or if it just did that thing where it hits like the inside of the goaltender's pads and then finds the back of the net. So that makes it 1-1, whatever. Bruins are playing okay. And then K'Andre Miller gets the puck off the faceoff, and I genuinely don't think Swayman ever saw this puck. That finds the back of the net with 8:30 left. The Bruins were getting outshot 10-3 after that. And let's see, Morgan Geekie, the only good thing to happen. Morgan Geekie scores after I think 16 or 17 straight games without a goal. It had been over a calendar month since he had scored. Gets the monkey off his back. He wasn't even sure, like he shot the puck and he was he like looked around to see if anybody else saw it going. He was so in disbelief. But don't worry, Morgan Geekie, there is more where that comes from, because later in the period, about 4 minutes later, he scores his second of the night. He's unlocked his powers. That top line of Pasta, Geekie, and Lindholm was buzzing. And I mean, it's a line we haven't seen in a long time, because I think both Geekie and Lindholm were respectively playing like shit for a while. So we didn't really get to see that. But Bruins leave the period winning 3-2. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great at that point. The Bruins started the period, the next period that is, on the penalty kill because Mark Kastelic ran into Brandon Bussi. And when this first happened, I thought like he had steamrolled Brandon Bussi. Watching the replay on social media after, bit of a sell job, but that's fine. We kill off the penalty, not a problem. Zadorov goes to the box, fork found in kitchen situation. And on that power play, Logan Stankoven scores to make it 3-3. And then William Carrier scores to make it 4-3. And then Taylor Hall's shot gets blocked. He gets his own rebound, fires it in, and it is 5-3. And that happened in the course of 3 minutes in the middle of the second period. And that was a night for Jeremy Swayman. I mean, he didn't play amazing. Was his team doing anything whatsoever to help him out? No. And they put in Korpisalo, and at that point I'm like, all right, we're getting shelled. And to his credit, Korpisalo came in and stood tall as hell throughout the entire rest of this game. OT, but he made a ton of huge saves throughout this game and really kept the Bruins in it. Speaking of keeping the Bruins in it, we had one thing that I thought was the crazy thing that happened, which transferred into the actual crazy thing that happened, which was Nikita Zadorov walks in, gets a shot, Pay no attention to Charlie McAvoy setting a pick at the top of the blue line.
Sorry.
But even crazier, perhaps, is that what we thought was a Zadorov goal, hilarious in its own right, was actually Morgan Geekie tipping the puck home to get a natural hat trick with a minute left in the second period. The Morgan Geekie 50-goal campaign is back on with 3 games left, and he's sitting at 37 goals. So he's got to channel his inner Austin Matthews debut and then some in the last 3 games. But hey, we get there. Period 3. The Bruins were playing a little bit better. I mean, still kind of getting shelled, but Korpisalo's making big saves. And Zacha gets his 30th of the campaign, a tie game with 7:25 left. And then this kind of just moved into like park the bus. You could very clearly see the momentum shift from the beginning of the third to after this goal. It was very much go from a let's try to win this thing or tie this thing to let's just try not to lose. And Korpisalo was a huge part of that. Had an insane right to left robbery on Sebastian Aho. Bruins got on the power play with 3 minutes left, and I think we could try to break it down, but I'm fairly certain the Carolina Hurricanes spent more time in the offensive zone than we did. The Bruins power play is like statistically good over the course of the season, but interspersed with them seemingly scoring like 5 seconds into their power play a lot is them doing jack shit on all of the other power plays where they cannot get the puck into the zone. It was embarrassing to watch. And so that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, but I'm thinking, okay, we get a point out of it. That's pretty miraculous if you had asked me that halfway through the second period. Amazing that we come out on the other side of this with a point against a very good team in the East. And I would love to lock up maybe a playoff spot, depending on how the cookie crumbles. But in overtime, and I mean this in the most literal sense, the Bruins didn't touch the puck. The Canes had possession for over a minute straight. They get a change. And I believe it's Aho finds a streaking Jacob Slavin for his first of the year. And just takes the wind out of my sails. Feels like shit that happened. Absolutely awful. Just sucks. Considering everything the Bruins did to get back in this game. And just like snap of the fingers, it's gone. We still get a point, yes. But it was the most like deflating, pathetic overtime. Or if you want to look at it from the Canes perspective, maybe the most meticulously well executed overtime performance I've ever seen. The Canes are for real. I want that spoken out there in case the Bruins find themselves out of the playoffs at some point. God forbid it happen. The Canes look like a wagon. That's all I'll say. Worth noting, hold on. There's like a slim chance that we end up playing the Canes in the playoffs. And if so, Nikita Zadorov has a target on his back after just steamrolling Seth Jarvis into the boards with his back turned, completely defenseless. I really thought that he was going to have to answer for this hit in the third period. And I think the problem was this hit came when the game was a lot closer. If this 5-3, if that happened, this Nikita Zadorov's head is getting taken off his shoulders. But he and Delorier on the Canes are just barking at each other from the benches with like a minute left in the period. And I'm thinking, here we go. Once we get off the penalty kill, this is it. And it never happened. But I like to think that I'm smart enough to know that hockey players don't forget. So did he have to answer for it this time? No. Perhaps the greatest gift that the Canes could get in return is just beating the shit out of us in overtime, which they did pretty successfully. But just something, just a situation to actively monitor, perhaps, if we find ourselves playing the Canes in the postseason. And then the Bruins lost to the Flyers in overtime. Zacha scored early in the third. Korpisalo let in the first shot of the game and then let in the goal in overtime, which was Porter Martone's first. And we were 5-on-3 in the overtime. So kind of, not much to add on that behalf. But Bruins got 3 games left. We have a break, I think, until Saturday. I think it's Saturday against Tampa, and then Tuesday at Columbus, or against Columbus, and then we play the Devils, who, as of today, are officially eliminated from playoff contention. Okay, I made some of that up. Saturday is the Lightning. Sunday is the Blue Jackets. That one's in Columbus? I'm making this shit up as I go. So we have Tampa Bay, Columbus, and then Tuesday is the final game of the regular season. 4 p.m. my time, so 7 p.m. Eastern, against the Devils. The Devils are still statistically eliminated. That part I was not making up. So that's that. I don't know what the math works out to the Bruins clinching a playoff spot. I'm guessing it's something along the lines of something Senators lose, something Bruins get some points. With like 3 games left, it's got the margin's pretty thin, and I think we're up by 6. Okay, we're up by 4 points, which complicates things, and the Senators have played 1 less game than us. Huh. Well, probably gonna... Flyers have 92 points now, so that could matter, but like, I want to say we have to play Tampa. I want to say if the Bruins win in regulation, that would do it. I think the math checks out on that, because that would put us at 98. They got 4 games. No, okay. Well, I think a Senators... Here I am, just doing the math. I think a Senators loss and a Bruins win in actually regulation doesn't matter. Senators loss and a Bruins win would do it, I believe. Oh, good. The Bruins are on a 4-game losing streak. That's... Well, there's the Anaheim Ducks that have lost 5 in a row, and the Seattle Kraken that have lost 6 in a row. And those are the worst losing streaks right now. Really carrying that momentum right into the playoffs. Well, we'll see what happens. We have a couple days off for the Bruins to figure out that you want to have a W next to your team's name at the end there. So we'll see if they can figure that out between now and Saturday when they take on the first in the East Tampa Bay Lightning, which... who only knows how that game's going to go. But hopefully we can get 2 points and we can clinch a playoff spot, and I can stop saying if we make the playoffs and say when we make the playoffs, because I'm sure the first round matchup will be very easy. So anyways, that's going to do it. Go Bruins, learn how to win a game. Mork and Geeky figure out how to score a goal. At least we have that.